आज के लेक्चर में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे सर्विस ओरिएंटेड आर्किटेक्चर के बारे में और क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग सेकंड यूनिट का ये पहला टॉपिक है हमारा। बेसिकली अगर हम सर्विस ओरिएंटेड आर्किटेक्चर की बात करें तो इसमें कुछ कंपोनेंट होते हैं जिनका बहुत ही मेजर रोल होता है। लाइक एज ए सर्विस प्रोवाइडर कौन सा है, सर्विस कंज्यूमर कौन है, और दोनों के बीच में कम्युनिकेशंस कैसे होगा। व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ सर्विस प्रोवाइडर and what is the role of service consumer and how they can communicate with each other। तो इनके बारे में ही कहानी है। अगर मैं बात करूं सर्विस ओरिएंटेड आर्किटेक्चर की, दिस इज एन आर्किटेक्चरल पैटर्न अप्रोच इन कंप्यूटर सॉफ्टवेयर डिजाइन in which application components provide service to other component via communications। मीन्स एक कंपोनेंट दूसरे कंपोनेंट से कम्युनिकेट करेगा, एक कंपोनेंट दूसरे कंपोनेंट को सर्विस देगा, एक कंपोनेंट दूसरे कंपोनेंट से सर्विस लेगा, और किसी ना किसी नेटवर्क का यूज करके, आइदर वी यूजिंग लैन नेटवर्क और वी यूजिंग मैन और वैन नेटवर्क। And the principle of service oriented architecture are independent of any product or any vendor or any technology। Basically service oriented architecture just make it easier for software components over various network to work with each other। So in service oriented architecture, service are provided to form applications through a communications call over the internet, and there are 3 points given. First one says that service oriented architecture allow user to combine a large number of facility from existing services to form application। Second point is service oriented architecture encompass a set of design principle that structure system development and provide means for integration component into a coherent and a decentralized system। And third point is service oriented architecture based computing package functionalities into a set of interoperable services which can be integrated into different software system belonging to a separate business domain। There are some key points in the service oriented architecture, like as first one is a standardized service contract। So in the case of standardized service context, services adhere to a service descriptions. A service must have some sort of descriptions which describe what the service is about, and this make easier to the client applications to understand what the service does। मीन्स ये सर्विस क्या काम करेगा, ये हमारा पूरा एक डिस्क्रिप्शंस फॉर्मेट में लिखा होता है इन द केस ऑफ स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड सर्विस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। सेकंड इज लूज कपलिंग। सो लेस डिपेंडेंसी ऑन ईच अदर। लाइक एज वी मेक हैव अ प्रोजेक्ट, हम कोई प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं और उसमें कई सारे मॉड्यूल हैं और वो एक दूसरे के ऊपर हाईली डिपेंडेंट हैं, तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर एक मॉड्यूल में कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गई तो उसका इफेक्ट किसी अनदर मॉड्यूल पर जरूर पड़ेगा। लेकिन अगर लेस कपलिंग है, लूज कपलिंग है, इन दैट मीन्स कि एक मॉडल का दूसरे मॉडल के साथ डिपेंडेंसी बहुत कम है या ना के बराबर है. So if there any problem occur in one module, then there is no any effect on the second module. And this is one of the main characteristics of web services, which just state that there should be a less dependency as possible between web services and the client invoking the web services. Third point is service abstractions. So service abstraction is the same concept which was abstractions in the concept of object-oriented programming. Means services hide the logic they encapsulate from the outside world. And the service should not expose how it execute, how its work, what is its functionality, and it should tell the client application on what it does, not how it is does. So this one is the service abstractions. Next one is a service reusability. Means if we provide a service, then that service will be reusable by the client side. And the logic is dividing into services with the intent of maximizing reuse. If any development company, reusability is big topic, because obviously one would not want to spend time and effort building the same code again and again. Hence, when the code for a web service is written, it should be reusable. Basically, there are already, we have told that there are two major roles in the service oriented architecture. First one is a service provider and second one is a service consumer. So what is the service provider and what is the service consumer? Let us discuss one by one. Basically, service provider is the maintainer of the services and the organizations that make available one or more service for the other user. To advertise their service, the provider can publish them in registry together with a service contract that specify the nature of the service, how to use the services, what is the requirement of the services, and what is the fee charged by the providers. Next one is a service consumer. Means which consume the services is known as a service consumer. Like as a, if we are using a component of Amazon, then Amazon is a service provider and I am a service consumer. So service consumer can locate the service metadata in the registry and develop the required client component to bind and use the services. Basically, there is a communication between the service provider and service consumer. Service consumer send a request for the particular services and service provider response for the particular services, like as a client server architecture. So same concept involved in the case of service provider and service consumer. Service consumer send a request for the services and service provider responds thus for the services to consumer. Now, what are the advantages of service oriented architecture? So there are various advantages like as a service reusability. So if we are making any services, then one point should be noted that the service which we are preparing would be reusable in the future. Means if we want to make another applications, then that applications made from existing services. Means if we want to make some another code, then we try to find that code with the help of our previous code. This is called the service reusability. Means once the service is available, then we will use again and again in the future is called a service reusability. Second advantage is easy maintenance. As we know that in the service oriented architecture, services are independent to each other. Means if a services is shut down, then that service will not affect to another services. If we are modified or if we are updating for a particular service, then that modifications and that updations will not affect to another services. So this one is called easy maintenance, because if there is no any effect to another services, then we do not need any maintenance for the other services. Third one is a platform independent. So a service which we are build, we should be noted that that services will be platform independent. Like as we are making a service on the Windows platform, then that service also will run on the Linux platform, Unix platform also. And the advantages of this is, in future suppose that any another operating system will come or any other platform will come, then there will be no any need to change the code for supporting that operating system or for supporting that platform. Fourth one is the availability. So which service we are making should be available to anyone at any time. 24 into 7 into 365. If a client requests for a particular services, then that service will be available at that time. Fifth one is the reliability. Means a service consumer should be will rely on the services which is provided by the providers. Means service oriented architecture applications are more reliable because it is easy to debug small services rather than huge code. Next one is scalability. Means we can increase the services if the consumer need. Suppose that the current time a consumer want only for service from the provider, and in future consumer want another for service, then it is the responsibility of service provider that they provide another for services to the service consumer. So scalable means we can grow or we can sync the services according to the consumer requirement. So these are the advantages of service oriented architecture, and there are also some disadvantages of service oriented architecture, like as a high overhead. So our validations of input parameter of services is done whether service interact this decrease performance as it increase load and response time. Second one is a high investment. So a huge initial investment is required for the service oriented architecture. And third one is a complex service management. So when service interact, they exchange a message to the task. The number of messages may go in millions. It become as cumbersome task to handle a large number of messages. So it one is the whole concept of service oriented architecture. Let us see once again. Basically, a service oriented architecture is a software development model that allows services to communicate across different platforms and languages to form an applications. And in service oriented architecture, a service is a self-contained unit of software designed to complete a specific task. It allows various services to communicate using loose coupling system to either pass the data or to coordinate the activities between different types of services. And there are some defining concept of SOA, that's our first one, the business value is more important than the technical strategy. Which technology we applied is more important than what the profit will gain by the business company. Second one is the strategic goal are more important than the benefit related to a specific project. Third one is a basic interoperability is more important than the customer integrations. Shared service are more important than implementation with a specific purpose, and continued improvement is more important than immediate perfections. So this one is the whole concept related to the service oriented architecture.